Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second episode of the Jaded Game Makers podcast. I'm the host, Martin, a jaded, tired game maker with a lot of years experience in game dev. And joining me today, as usual, is my guest, Teddy.
Hi everyone, so I'm Teddy. I'm also a jaded game maker, so ex-developer turned producer, game designer, and I have my own game studio called Defiant Bear Studios.
Cool.
And I think we're gonna talk about a cool new game.
Yep, yeah. We decided to play through Cyberpunk, and because it's still a bit of a clickbait, although we probably missed the peak of that. Cyberpunk is basically an open world RPG game, single player for now. Maybe maybe there will be multiplayer soon, and it's from CD Projekt RED. And probably most people know that it's generated quite a bit of controversy when it came out. I think in November or December, I forget, maybe December. And so we played through the game, and I gotta say, I initially liked it and then ended up not liking it. What about you?
Wow, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I didn't know that. I thought you really liked it all the way. No, personally, I loved it. I think I actually went the other way around. Very early on, I didn't like it, especially the first act of the game, and then I liked it more and more as the game went on.
Okay. So my problem with the game, the reason why I stopped liking it, isn't any of the bugs or the other stuff that was brought up when people were complaining about the game. It's more to do with the fact that it's just not my type of RPG. A lot of it is kind of dialogues and quests where you don't really do anything apart from talk to people, and it doesn't even feel like what you say makes a big difference. So it's just, you have to be immersed, you have to care about the characters, but I didn't. Not even after talking to them for a very long time. So a lot of the quests later on, I just ended up skipping through all of the dialogue just to get the XP and the street cred, and I just couldn't care less about what was happening to the characters. And the gameplay wasn't really there either, so yeah, I just didn't like it.
Yeah, I get you. I guess it's interesting because you saying that, I actually remember doing exactly the same thing. I actually skipped most of the dialogues as I went on because, for some reason, like the quests are not very engaging, maybe. And apart a few ones, which I thought, well, especially in the main storyline, I thought the main storyline quests were quite good, but like in the side quests, like most of them, I was literally just clicking through and wanting the XP and just a checkbox, check on my checkbox, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt like there were a few quests which were good, but very few and far in between. And the ones where you had like the gigs that keep popping up, they're very similar, most of them. And I mean, those could be kind of fun because that's where you actually get to play the game. But the gameplay also wasn't there for me. I think it's because they put a lot of their resources and efforts into making the game very cinematic. But that was at least my feeling. Like they wanted this to be, like a very immersive cinematic experience where you care about the characters in the game. So I felt that they put a lot of effort into this, but not so much effort in the gameplay.
Yeah, interesting. Well, and yeah, it brings me actually to a point I wanted to raise. But like, yeah, when you look at it, like in terms of like game design, I thought that Cyberpunk was literally like just kind of like a patchwork of all the cool game systems that came out in like RPGs or open world RPGs in the last, let's say, 5 years. And it was like a very good patchwork. Like, I'm not saying that because I actually enjoyed the game, but I didn't feel like it brought like any new to the state of the art or anything, apart maybe one system that I liked, which was like all the brain dance kind of replay feature, which I think I never saw anywhere else. But apart from that, it's literally just bits and pieces of one game here and then other bits of pieces of another game, and glued together and packaged, and in a very fine way, I found. But
So you enjoyed the gameplay though?
yeah, I did. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's kind of like going to that corner shop where you like going every day, and you will find the food you like there, and the food you've eaten for the last 5 years every day. But and and you will have an enjoyable experience there, and you keep going, and you don't even know why you keep going. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's not like going to a very fancy 5-star restaurant where you're gonna have your mind blown by like the super advanced game design or whatever. But it's just it's going on a nice ride. I thought, yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I don't really get it. Maybe I wasn't as hungry as you when I was playing the game, because at least your metaphor sounds like you're quite hungry. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I see what you're saying, that you kind of just get what you already got from a lot of open world games, but pulled off quite well. But even that, I'm not even sure if it's pulled off so well, because, for example, combat. Okay, maybe it depends on what build you go for, because I went for a hacking build with some rifles, and hacking itself doesn't feel very engaging. You basically just have to apply your quick hacks and then just wait for them to do whatever they do, and it's always the same. And rifles, well, the enemies often feel like bullet sponges, so you just keep shooting at them, keep shooting, and that's it. Like, it didn't feel like there was anything else to it. So for me, the combat wasn't very engaging, so I got tired of it fairly quickly. The stealth was okay, but nothing special. You've seen it in many other games. So yeah, maybe it's because of the build that I went for.
Well, I had like in my build, I had a strange experience where I think early on it was quite a bad build. So I went for melee and sniper rifle toward the end of the game. And melee, early on was really bad, and then got really, really good and kind of like overpowered until maybe Act 3 included, and then I had to switch to more assault rifles and sniper rifles to kind of like finish the game, and especially for like the bosses toward the end and stuff like that, like where melee was. I don't know, maybe I was just building my character quite badly, but like I really struggled with some fights with melee, but it felt like the general difficulty progression curve was really strange. With melee, it started like really difficult, then got really, really easy for maybe like 3/4 of the game, and then suddenly extremely hard towards the very end. It's very strange.
And did you feel like leveling your experience with your build changed in any way? Like, was there anything meaningful, maybe a cyberware or something that changed your playstyle?
No. With melee, it's always the same thing. You basically just rush toward the enemy and start slashing and repeat until everybody's dead, basically. And you don't even really care or look where you're going. You just rush at it and slash your sword or your axe or whatever. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, exactly. So this, for me with hacking, it was very similar. I mean, late game you can get like a hack which allows you to hack through walls, like legendary thing. But even that doesn't really change the gameplay very much. Like, you still have the same versions of the hacks you had when you started the game, and you just apply those, and enemies die the same. So even the build, I felt like it wasn't really, like, I wasn't excited to level up. Like, you basically just pick the ability to craft like legendary hacks or something when you level all the way up, and you increase your RAM a little bit, and that's about it. Like I didn't feel like there was anything like that changed to the way I play the game. Like no amazing spell that you had to wait to unlock. I don't know. It just all like the gameplay felt the same from level 1 until the very end.
Yeah, and it brings an interesting point actually, because I think maybe they kind of like when you start the game, they release most of the features straight away, and apart maybe from the brain dance, but like most of the other features of the game, yeah, you find in the first act basically, and yeah, just like you said, that's pretty much it. I mean, what you get in Act 1. Even in Act 3 or 4, it's basically the same things, maybe a slightly more powerful version. And I think of some acts, for example, where like you get the hack for to kill somebody like directly or something like that. But it's just like, yeah, it's basically what you had before, but just in an enhanced way. And most of the feature feel a bit like that, like they give straight away most of it, and they don't tease any new features later on, which maybe make you lose a bit of engagement with the game. I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you think?
yeah, I think I agree. Yeah. Maybe if they had something that they give you later on. I mean, I guess there were some like vehicles that you got into later on for specific quests, but yeah, I mean, it was more or less all the same. The combat. It just felt like the story was what they were focusing on, to me at least. But even then, like the story, I mean. Yeah, it's just too much talking and too much slowly walking behind some some other character that's like trying to lead you somewhere, and you can't skip that. Well, sometimes you can, but sometimes it wasn't possible. So it's like slowly walking, then skipping dialogue, then slowly walking. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the game, I don't think the criticism about it being incredibly buggy or there not being enough content because it's unfinished, or I don't think those are justified. I think there's a lot of content for your money, and the game feels finished, at least to me. Like, okay, maybe they cut some features. I heard they cut maybe Metro and things like this. But the game feels finished, and okay, I had bugs. Nothing game breaking, but I had bugs. But it didn't distract from the experience. It's just that I didn't find that this was a good match for me, game-wise.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that the game really got trashed in the news and the media, and so I was personally playing it on PlayStation 4, which was supposed to be one of the most outrageous version of the game. And I was playing it on like the very first version of the PlayStation 4, so not the Pro, or I did not have a SSD hard drive in it or anything. I was literally like the vanilla PlayStation 4. And honestly, I got the game like on the first day, and I think on the first 2 days, I had quite a few bugs. Like just that's true. Like I had like blue screens and some crashes, and I had one game-breaking bug, which I just reloaded my game to avoid it, and that was fine. But after those 2 days, I remember they released like a massive patch. I think 2 days after the release, and honestly, I almost never had any bugs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the rest of the game, I was able to to complete the game and without any trouble. So like compared to the amount of like trashing that they got in the media, I find that like a bit over the top, to be honest. It's
Yeah, same. And yeah, it's kind of sad because then a lot of people won't give the game a chance and won't actually try it. And maybe for them it would be a good fit because they care more about the story than I did. But yeah. I also didn't really have any bugs. Okay, I played on PC, on a pretty good PC, but the only things that would happen to me were like small things, like sometimes when you drive a car, like your character T-poses through the car, or like when you are doing some quest, like after you finish the quest, it locks all of your like unequipping and equipping. Things like this, just tiny things that you basically just save and reload, and it's fixed. So I didn't have anything that would be game breaking.
Yeah, no, definitely. And yeah, and actually like about like the features in the game, like one that I was thinking about because you mentioned the vehicles, and I thought that it was funny because like the vehicle system in the game, like it didn't really feel like so pertinent or important, like the fact that you could find all those vehicles. And I mean, I basically used the same ride like for most of the game, and I didn't really find an interest into like buying all the new vehicles that you could buy throughout the game or anything. So I don't know how you felt about that, but I thought that there was like so many ways of like transporting around and using the kind of like teleporter feature that they had. So yeah, what did you think about the transport?
Yeah, I also didn't really buy any of the special vehicles. I got like some as quest rewards, which I then used, and they seem to be better. So I guess that maybe like, you know, going for those vehicles and buying them maybe is okay. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not usually into racing games, so maybe that's also why. So I also just use the teleportation, the fast travel all the time. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like even the driving doesn't feel that good unless you go into third person on PC. It's kind of hard to see where you're going, especially if you're going like downhill. And all you cannot see the road. You just see like the air. So yeah, it's pretty hard to drive that way. So I wasn't that interested in driving either. Motorcycles are cool, but yeah, they all kind of felt very similar. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe they put a lot of effort into like putting together the cars and working on the driving system, and yeah, it's only for a small subset of players that this will really matter.
Yeah, I guess if you're coming from a car driving lover background, then yeah, it makes sense. But it's kind of like they tried to pick like the all the features that work in the other games and put them together in one game, just to kind of satisfy everybody a little bit. And for example, this one in particular felt a bit um, maybe not so much required. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, and I had the same impression with a few different things through the game. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's. I mean, I'm talking like I didn't like the
Yeah,
game,
I'm
but
convincing you.
I'm
I'm
really
saying
trying to find
that.
like yeah. I'm trying to find things to to criticize and stuff. But I really liked it. I don't know if I will replay it though. Like that's an interesting thing. I think it's a very good game to play once, but I don't think I will replay, to be
So,
honest.
so if you had to pinpoint why you actually liked it, like what was the system, or which part of it made you like it? Because you said that you were also skipping a lot of the dialogues, and those to me seemed like basically
Yeah,
the majority of the game.
I liked the ambience of the game, so like the setting as well, the sci-fi hacking setting. I love that. I love the story, especially the main story, which well, I'm not gonna spoil, but yeah, I thought that parts of it, as the plots unravel and stuff, like I was pleasantly surprised by what was happening, and I wasn't expecting some of the thing that happened. So yeah, I think that's mainly it really. Like it's like the main story, and since in general I tend to like good stories in game and exploration. Yeah, that that was pretty much it for me.
I see. I see. Yeah, I guess I can understand because the atmosphere and like the style is good. They really pulled off the cyberpunk style very well with, you know, hacking being really cool and there being a lot of like cool characters in game. So they did a good job there. Um, so I guess I can kind of see it. I also liked that's why initially I was so happy with the game. But yeah, the exploration bit, for example, like you mentioned, it's not really there, right? Like you don't really go anywhere to explore. At least I didn't. You just kind of follow the phone calls where they they lead you, but you don't talk to anyone in the street because they don't say anything reasonable. So yeah, that part for me was missing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, the exploration, I think in the beginning I had the illusion that it would matter, and I started going a bit off track and trying to find like, secret spots or whatever, a bit like in The Witcher, for example, where you can very easily go off track and find things. And well, I guess in Cyberpunk, yeah, you don't find anything. Like just like you said, it's just it's just like random NPCs that are working in the background, and you cannot really do anything. You have some small events happening and popping up, but it's always the same set of events that happen. So you get very quickly bored of it, and yeah, so it's not a very rewarding exploration, I guess. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
All right. So it basically sounds like we're going to wrap this up, that I completely convinced you that the game isn't that great. Okay. Now, I do want to say that, yes, like the story and the characters are cool. So if you just want a really cool experience, and that's what you're looking for, and you don't care so much about like spending hours and hours in the game, like exploring, looking for special things, putting together, like a really cool, powerful build. If you don't care about these things and you just care about, the story and finishing the game very quickly, then I think this game is actually pretty good. But since I do care about these things, yeah, it wasn't for me.